Hey, everybody, it's showtime and it's Gift Friday. Welcome to Gift Friday on a Thursday. I'm Sporty King, your host, as that might sound. But anyway, I call it, let's go Gift Friday Eve on Thursday. Because you know what I did, those of you who don't know, if this is your first time, Gift Friday was created based on the fact that so many people say TGIF, thank God it's Friday. But I say, what allure does Friday have to that person that took their last breath on Thursday or any day before that for that matter? So it's always about us being careful about our word choice because it makes a difference. So what I've chosen to do is use Psalm 92:2, and that is, it is good to proclaim your unfailing love in the morning, your faithfulness in the evening. In other words, I don't use TGIF, I use TGIT. Thank God it's today. And then TGIT, thank God it's tonight. Because the gift to be able to get up, go through a whole day, and the promise to be able to go to sleep and do it again tomorrow, that's what we need to be thanking God for. So therefore, when I look at gift, I look at TGIF. And if we take the T and move it from the end, from the end to the beginning, we find out what we're really thanking God for. And that is the gift of today. TGIF. So I'm sorry. We take T and move it from the front and put it at the end. Then we have TJF. God is for today. GIFT. What is your gift? Well, Gift Friday is my sharing of one of my inspirational poems that you could use in your virtual nowadays. They was good for live presentation, but you're also going to be able to use them for virtual because what they can do is help you start a conversation. Today, I'm going to be sharing a poem with you, which will then be my gift to you because I'll put the link in so that you can go and download the link and have your own copy of the poem, a commemorative poem. There we go, for you to keep. And then what I would want you to do is see how you could use that poem in your everyday life. Okay, so I'm sorry, I was doing some administrative stuff, getting that ready for you. Okay, so let's look at today's poem. Is going to be coming from my book, I Found Out I'm Dying, a celebration of life, a book about the fact that physically we're all dying from the day we're born. Get over it. One day you won't be here, right? But I use that book and the poem from that book, I use that sometimes to make the point that what happens is we get caught up in the headlines of life and forget to read the subtitles. See, the book is not about dying. I found out I'm dying. But the subtitle is a celebration of life. I'm celebrating life. And I think this is an appropriate message for the end of the year because we're thinking COVID this but no, it's, COVID was in 2020, but God was here as well. See, so let's look at the subtitle. So that's why I've chosen to close out with a poem from this book. And actually what I'm going to use is a poem called The Gift of Laughter. This was what was called my signature poem when I first started my speaking business. As those of you who may not know, my speaking business was started based on using my poetry. So that's what I did with this book is I would read my poetry and then deliver the message. And so that's how I created my speaking business. I say that to say to you, we can always be creative. We don't just need tragedy to be the mother of invention. We need to have testimony be the mother of invention as well, because that's what I had was my testimony of sharing my gifts of poetry to create my speaking business. And here we are 26 years later, and I'm still there. So God is good. But anyway, gave you that little bit of history because my session is going to be just a little short, a little longer today. We don't know. Let's see, because I got a message on top of a message. But this is called The Gift of Laughter. My first word was a cry. My last will be a sigh. But it's that small amount of time in between that I want to laugh about. You see, I want to laugh because I was the chosen egg. I was the Patrick Henry of the womb. In fact, I didn't speak until I realized I couldn't slap that doctor back. I remember thinking he was close enough and close enough and close enough. And I started kicking and swinging. And I want to laugh because growing up, someone tried to tell me who I had to be, what I couldn't do, and why. But I was the Nelson Mandela of Harlem, New York City. And when I got out, I knew I had to stay there in spirit because that's who I am. I'm not the next Les Brown. He's the first sporty king. But I could just be the second you. Because this gift is not about a name, but a spirit that sits inside. And I want to laugh because I can. Because it's my laugh, isn't it? After all, think about it. Who will you think of when you hear this laugh? Well, I'll think of you too. And you see, it's at that time that you and I make this life worth living. Don't ever pass up the opportunity to laugh. You see, I want to laugh, and I can. Oh, man. So what I want to do now is take a drink of water. And I want to go back and break that poem down to you. Okay. And I want to, at the side, I'll go stanza by stanza and just break that poem down and really get a good look at it. All right. So it's called The Gift of Laughter. But the first stanza is, my first word was a cry. My last will be a sigh. But it's that small bit of time in between that I want to laugh about. Yeah. See, life is short. We always hear life is short. The first thing I did was cry. Right? Could you see the baby being born? The first thing they're slapping the baby. But the first word is, they're crying. And the last word when you die, it could be, you don't know. But everybody's seen that inspiration, right? The one that says the dash. You know, what's about, on your tombstone, they'll have the day the year you were born, the day you were born, and the day that you died. But what happened in your dash with that? And a dash just doesn't take up the most space on your tombstone, does it? It's a very small thing. So that's that small bit of time in between. What can you do to laugh about your life? Remember, we're talking about the subtitles. What can you do to laugh about your life? Then the next stanza goes on. I was the chosen egg. I was the Patrick Henry of the womb. Remember Patrick Henry, give me liberty or give me death? The American Revolution, right? Okay, but in fact, I didn't speak until I realized I couldn't slap that doctor back, right? I was the chosen egg. Don't you know that that's part of the miracle and the blessing of being born? How many eggs were not fertilized when you were fertilized in the womb? You were the Patrick Henry of the womb. You were the one saying, give me liberty, give me life. And then the rest of the eggs did not get fertilized. So there's a celebration for you as well. But right, I didn't speak, but can you see that baby on the table? I didn't speak until I realized I couldn't slap that doctor back. Right? Did you think about that when the doctor slapped the baby to get him to cry? Even though I guess these days you can't do that because then you could get in trouble for abuse. I don't know, but either way. Then the baby started crying, right? And the baby just started kicking and swinging, right? So imagine baby say, okay, let him get close enough. I'm gonna act like I'm crying. I'm gonna kick and swing and punch that doctor in the mouth. But the baby can't do it. But I hope you saw the baby. Even if you've never seen a birth, you've seen a baby at a baby shower, perhaps. All right. So that's what you have to do is, again, there's that beauty of that. Then growing up, someone told me who I had to be, what I couldn't do and why. But I was the Nelson Mandela of Harlem, New York City, okay, because that's who I am. All right. See, growing up, everybody's trying to tell us who we are and what we should be doing. But we have to recognize we have to recognize ourselves. What's your gift? One of my poems in that book is called Don't You Realize That You Don't Know Me? No one knows you as well as you know yourself. Sure, when you're younger, you got your parents and older people, the teachers telling you you can do this and I believe in you. Yeah, but you know yourself. You have to. As you age and mature, you get to know yourself better. And that's the key. How well do you know yourself? If you look back at this year, do you know what you did to survive this year? Have you given yourself credit for it? See, it's all about really understanding who we are and what our contribution is to success. You had some contribution to somebody deciding they could make it through this year. Now, COVID wasn't hitting us strong from January to December, but it was really from March when all the things start coming in place as the restrictions. And that's when the people start picking up the pace. But I'd like to remind people of this COVID-19. We've been dealing with this since 2019 in November. Okay. So it's just that we have to see, what did we do to make it? All right. You are the Nelson Mandela of whoever because Nelson Mandela was in jail for 27 years and he hung in there. So you didn't have to do 27 years, but you hung in there, right? But in spirit, you still have to be who you are. See, I'd have to be the Nelson Mandela. I called myself the Nelson Mandela of Harlem, New York, but I'd have to be him. I had to be me, so that I can make it forward. And that's why in the next line it says, I'm not the next Les Brown. He's the first sporty king. When I started my speaking business, a lot of people, oh man, you laugh like Les Brown, and you know what it was? Think about it. It was a little bit of not racist, but it was what we do. People identified with the first Black speaker who they knew and heard of. So instantly it's, oh, you're a speaker like Les Brown. That's what we still do. We associate someone with someone who we know. And so it's not necessarily racist, but it is a little bit judgmental where we do that. And what we have to do is find a way to make sure that we come down and not let that stay on top. I don't compare myself to anybody. You see what I say? Maybe he was the first sporty king, because whenever somebody says, oh, like so-and-so, when people used to say, oh, you look like Larry Graham, you look like Denzel Washington, I say, no, they look like me. I put me first. Haven't you always, those of you who've been with me and my message for over the years, haven't you always heard me say, put yourself first? You got to take care of you before you can take care of anybody. Two people you can't take care of. Anybody until you take care of yourself, and anybody who doesn't want your help. Take care of yourself. Take care of what I call your PMS, right? Physical, mental, and spiritual self. If you don't take care of yourself physically, how can you help that person that fell out of the bed to get back up onto the bed? If you don't take care of yourself mentally, how can you give somebody good advice when a tough decision that they have to make, or help them understand what's going on? If you don't take care of yourself spiritually, how can you tell someone to keep the faith and hang in there? It's going to be all right. So you take care of yourself does not push people away. It draws people to you. Take care of you. I'm the first sporty king. Okay. And anybody who they say I look like, or they remind us they're the second me. But guess what? I could just be the first you, the second you, right? Because again, I don't want you to put me before you. I want you to put you before me. Your gift is not about the name, but it's your spirit. Who are you? What is your gift? That's what you have to make sure you know about. And then the next stanza is, I want to laugh because I can, because it's my laugh. Isn't it who you think about when you hear this laugh? And that is one of and it's funny because I get a flashback when I do that laugh, because I always did that. I depending on how much time I had, I could laugh for a while. But I remember right now, a good friend of mine, her name was Irene Bogdan. She was one of the senior citizens, or the seasoned citizens, at my Southwest Center in Chicago. And she used to always say to me, do the laugh. She would just say, do the laugh. And that would just light up their day, because the senior centers, where they come and spend the day. But also, even I know I've got an infectious laugh. I do. I know, infectious laugh. Did you laugh while I was laughing? I hope you did. Okay, but then now I'm a member of an organization called AATH, Association of Applied and Therapeutic Humor, where we believe in the healing power of laughter. See, so how your gift comes forward and works into your life, and then there are actually things they're called laughter clubs, where people learn how to laugh. You learn how to laugh. Yeah, there's some people who you have to actually teach them how to laugh, and I'm not looking down on them, but some people get so caught up in the tragedy of their lives that they miss out on the fun and the beauty of their lives. And so you just need a little help. Just like anybody would go to a doctor, anybody would go to a health club, you can go to a laughter club. Okay. But I know, and I have had plenty of people say, "Sport, yeah, I knew that was your laugh." Because haven't you said that to somebody? So that's why I love that part of the poem, and it's good exercise for my lungs as well. Okay, but but then what's the message in there? You may think of me when you hear that laugh. You think of my gift, but then I think of you too. Okay, why? Because the gift is not, the gift. It's a moment that you and I share. I think about you when I laugh. If I'm around you and I'm laughing, it's because I'm comfortable. I'm feeling safe and we're having a good time. But I think about you too. And it's at that moment that you and I make this life worth living. Whatever reason it is that you laugh, however you share your gift, I think about you when you share your gift. You think about me when I share mine. And it's that moment that we make this life worth living. Don't ever pass up your opportunity, your chance to laugh and share your gift. Now, and share your gift is not actually in the poem, but I threw that line in because I want to bring attention right now to something, and that is, I want to take us back to my book, I Found Out I'm Dying. Because the actual end of the book, I Found That I'm Dying, the last line is, I found out I'm dying, and I have been since day number one. So I spend little time regretting my life because I'd rather spend the time having fun. As we connect this poem and this end of the book's poem to this year, to 2020, again, a lot of people are really feeling, oh man, 2020 has been so hard. So we're focusing on the problem instead of focusing on the solution. Yes, 2020 has been hard, but has there ever really, hard is, it's relative. We've had a lot of months, but have you had some tough times in your life? This is a different tough time. This is a different tough time. It's been extended, and partially because this is a worldwide pandemic. A lot of times the challenges we deal with may be in our neighborhood, in our city, in our state, in our region, in our country, but this is now worldwide. So now you've got so many more people talking about it, and that's why it got so much of the headlines, and that's what helps make it seem more devastating than it is to us. And so that's what I want to say to you is, the headline is COVID, but let's look at the subtitle. COVID has killed a lot of people, and God rest their souls, but you're not one of them. How can you celebrate that? Wear your mask, do what you have to do to follow the guidelines so that we can keep people safe. But this, again, and you're going to die one day, but I found out I'm dying, and I have been since day number one. So I spend a little time regretting my life because I'd rather spend the time having fun. Have some fun. And so again, I want to not take away from the gift of laughter, but I want to bring attention to two organizations. I already mentioned my laughter organization, but two organizations that I want to bring attention to right now are the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention and HeyUgly.org. And I'm going to put those in the thread as well, because what I want to do is recognize there are some people who aren't laughing. And at a time like this, they think that they can't laugh. And so they may take their lives. And that's why I put in the American Foundation of Suicide in the chat for you right now. So that you can go to that site and help them. And so that's that shirt that I have, walk to fight suicide. And then my second one that I want to bring attention to is heyugly.org. Oops, trying to get out of the way. Heyugly.org. And Hey Ugly, ugly is UGLY, unique, gifted, lovable you. That's my pet charity, and I'm co-founder of that charity. But they are doing loads to stop suicide prevention among teens. So so those are two great organizations that you can support. And I say that based on, again, on the poem, I found out I'm dying, but also the gift of laughter. How can you share your gift, and how can we focus right now with the tragedy and the challenge that this year that we had? There are people who think they can't overcome it. So even as you enjoy and celebrate, remember not to lose sight of your friends. Remember that I said put yourself first. Well, once you take care of you, now you can take care of those around you. So still keep your eye out and notice how different people in your life and your circle are doing, and check on one another right now. See, so this message is not a downer. This is just keeping us focused, y'all. Staying positive is not always about cracking up, laughing, having a good time. It's cracking up, laughing, and having a good time, and then checking to see how somebody else is doing and how you might be able to help them, because we do want to take care of our brothers and sisters. Okay. So I now dropped in the chat the link that you can go to get the poem. But here's again, that last part of the poem. It says, I want to laugh, and I can. I can laugh. What's your gift? What can you do to share that gift? In fact, go on and put in a thread. Let's get this thread full of as many gifts as possible so other people can see, hey, yeah, I have that same gift. And if you have that same gift, go on, click on a love on it because you have that gift. And then put in your gift as well. If it's a different one, y'all, come on, y'all, let's spread the love. So, so that whenever people come to look at this page, they look at this post, they can see that love. Excuse me. But yeah, I'm going to laugh. It's my laugh, and I can do it, and it's what I can do to share and make this life worth living, y'all. 2020 is just the first year of COVID. It's just another year. 2021, we don't know what's going to happen. Let's enjoy this gift of life. God is for today. So let's enjoy this gift of life that God has brought to us and allowed us to be able to share another day. TGIT. Thank God it's today. And TGIT. Thank God it's tonight. Celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. And thank you for all the sessions that you've joined me in this year. Whether it's been Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, how you've been allowed me to share my gift and bring it into your life, I really appreciate that. And like I said, I know I went longer than I usually go on a gift seller on my gift broadcast, but I think it was necessary. And I want you to remember that too. Don't put restraints on sharing your gift because it's necessary. We need you. Thanks again. God bless you, and Happy New Year. Happy old year, happy new. God is good, and so are you. All right, ciao. Well, I got a comment. I'll look at it. Thank you. Hey, you got it, Chimes. Thank you, too. Normally, I don't do the shout outs and the sharing on today. But yeah, hey, like I say, extend your gift. Let's just do something a little different. So if anybody, there's a tape delay, so I'll wait and see if anybody wants to drop a comment in the thread, and I'll be able to say thank you to them as well. But I appreciate you, Chimes. Keep being a blessing, especially that one with heyugly.org. Check that out because you're dealing with middle schoolers, and that would be a great site for them to have access to. Okay, so even though the links that I put in the thread will take you to their donate pages, look at all they have to offer. All right, everybody, I'm saying that too, whether you live or watching the broadcast. Okay. All right. Hey, what's up, Dominique? Oh, wow. My Boys and Girls Club. Happy New Year to you. That is so good. Girl, I am so proud of you. All right. Thank you for for continuing to be the wonderful young lady that I remember from my public speaking classes. Oh my God. Then you say to yourself, oh God, I hope that's the right Dominique. But if it's not, hey, what's happening, Dominique? All right. And I'll come just backtrack and see which Dominique, because, I know so many wonderful Dominiques, but I really think that's you. Okay. All right. But God bless you and thank you for a happy new year to you as well. All right, y'all. Okay. Look, I'm out of here, and be safe tonight. Okay. Be safe, whatever you're going to do. Over and out. Ciao.